Hey guys, Tori Boggs here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the EB. The EB is such an important jump rope skill. It's going to progress into so many different things, and the arm movements that you use will forever be a part of your jump rope journey. So I'm very excited to teach this skill today. Let's jump right into the EB. Alright, so the EB is known as arm in front, arm in back, because this is the position. So hopefully you've learned how to do a cross at this point, because knowing those crossover swings is going to come into play big time here. The EB is basically a cross, but your body is just between your arms. So it's kind of the same positioning here. It's just your body comes between where your arms are crossing over, essentially. So just to start, go ahead and hold on to your jump rope and just take this EB position. So you have one arm down across to the front of your body, and you have the other arm coming behind you from the back. So this is what it should look like from the back side. And it's gonna be really important that this arm can reach all the way across your back. So there's gonna be a bit of upper body shoulder flexibility that is required. So if you need to work on that, if you need to kind of stretch out this arm before doing this skill, or whatever arm you're using in the back, I would definitely encourage you to do that, because what you don't want to happen is kind of this winging thing, because this isn't going to work very well, and it's going to be really hard to do an EB if this is how far you reach your arm. You can't get all the way across because the rope is going to have to clear the side of your body. So that really needs to happen. So ideally, if you're facing a mirror, you'll be able to see your fingers to the side. And then fortunately, jump rope handles do provide a bit of reach. If you're using longer handles on the EB, this is really nice. It's a little bit of a cheating system for that, because you have kind of the extra inches of those longer handles coming from the back to help that out. So this back arm is very important in this skill. And then of course, like having kind of good posture is going to be helpful here too, because if we're bending forward, that's also going to limit and pull that arm, so it's not going to be able to reach so far behind you. So making sure that you have relaxed upper body so that you can stretch that arm behind you is going to be really nice in this skill. Now, I talked about having mastered that cross to begin with, and the crossover swing comes into direct play because our front arm is going to be crossing over. So it's a movement hopefully you've already done up to this point, and on both sides as well. Now, another swing that you could practice for this skill, it's definitely helpful to revisit, is a behind the back swing. And now this is a bit tricky because it's really hard to get that arm to reach behind you so that it doesn't hit the side of your foot. But if you're able to do this, it's gonna really help you on that EB swing. So this is what it looks like from your angle. So reaching that arm behind, trying to get the rope going straight parallel to your body as much as possible. It's easier said than done, of course, but the good thing about the EB is that you have that front arm that's really the controlling arm of the rope. So even though the back arm is making it go a bit sideways, the front arm is where that control is. Now, going into the EB skill itself, the most important part is that first swing. And how that works is you start with the rope behind you, swing it in front, and when you go into the EB position on that first side swing, the arm that's gonna fold behind you needs to go right beside your body. So let's say I'm gonna fold my right arm behind you, my left arm's gonna be in front. I start with that swing, my right arm comes right beside my body as it folds behind me. So let's switch arms now. I'm gonna have my left arm fold behind, right arm come in front, sorry. The left arm is gonna go right beside me. It seems a little bit obvious that I'm saying this, but a lot of times what happens when people start into the EB swing is they swing sideways. Look how far my arm is away from my body. And when that happens, it's immediately redirecting the rope, so it's going sideways. The back arm is already very difficult to control. So if we're going into the skill sideways before we're even entering into that EB, we're gonna not really be off to a good start. The rope is gonna wrap around your body. It's gonna be really hard to jump a sideways rope, because now we've redirected the rope to be this way instead of this way. So this first swing, making sure it's right beside your body and tracking the rope as straight as possible is gonna be really important. So on that first swing, you fold your arm and try to get this hand behind you as quickly as possible. So it's swing and into position. So you see, as I'm swinging, I'm coming up with the rope, and then I'm down in position by the end of that. And then of course, the front arm has folded across my body during that side swing. So that's kind of how we take that EB position. And then this front arm becomes really important in this moment because it's really what keeps the momentum and the control on the rope. So I've got to make sure that I'm continuing that forward momentum, bringing the rope around, and then work on getting that rope so I can catch it straight under your toes, because this will immediately tell us what we're doing wrong. If the rope's coming around this way and we can't get it under both of our toes, we know that that first swing is probably keeping the rope too sideways. We're not getting our arm right behind us fast enough. A lot of times what happens is, say you're here, but the arm isn't reaching behind you, that's gonna make the rope go sideways as well. So this is just gonna teach us so many things about our EB, and of course, making sure that you can just master so that you catch it under both feet is gonna be really important. So you're not wasting too much energy trying to jump over the rope yet. You're trying to get all of the moving parts of that EB. And that front arm really does do a lot of work, but as you can see, my back arm has to be able to clear behind me as well. And you're still spinning that wrist. So if you're looking at the EB from behind, boom, boom, my wrist is still doing the work. Boom, boom. I'm still making sure that I'm spinning the rope from that back end as well. So now goes into jumping the EB. Same rules apply. If you were able to catch it, you're gonna be able to jump over the rope. And if you've been able to do the catch, that part's pretty simple, but where it gets a little tricky is now coming out of the EB, because there's two different ways that you can do that. There's a 2 count EB and there's a 3 count EB. So the 2 count would look like this, 1, 2. So that means I go into the skill and I'm totally out of it within those 2 jumps. 3 count EB would be 1, 2, 3. So I kind of take an extra swing coming out of that. And I'm going to teach you both ways to do that. I prefer the 2 count EB because I think it's more useful in a lot of situations. Not always true, but 3 counts is a little harder to work with, whereas an even counting number is a lot easier when it comes to placement into routines and that type of thing. So it's totally preference, of course, but learning both types of the EB is also very important, and then of course both sides as well. But let's work on that 2 count. So we're gonna first swing into the skill, that's on 1, and then when you jump it on 2, what you're gonna do is as you jump over the rope, you're gonna be pulling that back arm out. So from the back, it looks like this, 1, 2. And now my rope is swinging forward and it's ready for me to open my front arm and go into a regular jump or whatever you want to do. So 1, 2, and now the rope is ready for the next thing. And then this is also another place where you do want to try to correct the rope as quickly as possible so it is moving straight instead of sideways, because a lot of times you could go 1, 2, and then now my rope is sideways. So instead I want to jump over it and make sure that I'm pulling the rope out so it's tracking forward, and that helps to get your arm as close to your body as possible. So 1, 2, and now you have a rope that's coming straight out. All right, so now the 3 count EB, essentially you're just leaving that arm behind you an extra jump. So you jump over it, and instead of pulling it out, you wait till the rope comes back in front of you, and then you're gonna open your front arm first. So 2 count EB, your back arm comes out first. 3 count EB, your front arm comes out first. So we have 1, 2, front arm opens, my back arm's still behind me, and then as it's opening up, I'm now gonna open my back arm. So the rope kind of does a side swing on the other side of your body as you do this. So 1, 2, swing. And then now you're ready to go into anything. So there's really just an extra side swing coming out of the EB skill. So if I'm doing it on the other side, I didn't show the 2 count yet. So here was the 2 count on that side. And then the 3 count is gonna be 1, 2, 3. So I just wait a little longer before opening up that back arm. And of course, the same thing, it's really important to practice this skill in front of a mirror, because you're gonna be able to break down exactly where your arms are coming sideways, or you need to straighten it up a bit or get your hands closer to your body. This is really, really an important part of the EB skill, and you're gonna apply this to so many skills going forward. So master that EB, have fun with it, get it really good, both sides, and have a great time along the way. See you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and learning the EB with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, drop a comment on the EB and any other skills that you want to see here in the future. And until next time, happy jumping! Presented by Brooks Running.